Howdy, Retro followers, and welcome to the Retro Sips and Brews podcast. This is Shelly.
And Sarah.
And we're so excited to be here this week. We have an amazing guest today, but before we get to that, I just want to talk about this last week because it's been kind of epic. Last week podcast, we had Laura Nygaard with the San Antonio Reading Trail.
Yes, she was amazing.
Yes, very cool. I really enjoyed talking about our favorite books with her and your least favorite books.
My least favorite books. Yes. And then how y'all are actually in a book club.
Yeah, we are in a book club together. Yes.
So that was pretty cool. Yeah, I had no idea until y'all started talking about like the same books.
Yes.
And I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, we've read some of the same books. And then I've read one of the books that she hasn't read yet from the book club. I hope I didn't spoil it for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then y'all talked about your favorite people.
We ended up talking about the Jonas Brothers for at least like, I don't know. Maybe I'm exaggerating, like 10, 15 minutes maybe.
I got a good nap in.
So that was fun. Who'd have thought we'd end the whole conversation talking about the Jonas Brothers?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have.
But we found out that she was more of a Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys, yeah.
And I'm a New Kids on the Block girl. So,
yeah.
like 3 totally different generations of boy bands.
It definitely shows you who's younger.
So then we also this week relaunched our shop, so to speak. We relaunched Serving Our Drinks.
Yes, the first event.
Yes, which was, I think I still have a little bit of a high from that.
It was really nice. It was a great event. It was a junk journaling event here at Petri's.
Yep.
The room was full.
Very full.
Everybody was having a great time.
Yes.
And for our first time back, we had a line of drinks.
There was
really
a
great.
point where Sky was making like 10 drinks.
Yeah.
She was that
it
backed
was just
up.
like back to back to back. It was a really great feeling. And it's really nice to be back.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in having one of our drinks again.
Yeah, say you missed that David Bowie or the Ultimate Warrior.
You can check out our Instagram. You can check out Petri's Instagram for all of our events.
Yes, and we have a lot coming up. So speaking of events, we immediately left the journaling event and went to a fundraiser for another great organization that we are currently supporting called Circulo de Chispas, where we are collecting undergarments for underprivileged Title I elementary school kids. So underwear, socks, training bras, undershirts. And that was really fantastic.
That was a great event.
Yes. Gloria and Andy and their whole board, they did an amazing job.
Yeah.
A little Henry Lee. I was music. The music was amazing. And we got some amazing art that they were auctioning off, and we won some great pieces of art, which then, of course, all that money goes to help Circulo de Chispas. So if you haven't yet, we are still collecting chones, underwear, socks, training bras, undershirts.
You name it.
Yep. You too can be a chones fairy. You can drop them off here at Petri's Place or at one of 2 Wicked Witch locations. There's one on Fredericksburg and one in Leon Valley on Bandera Road.
Yes. So check out our Instagram for more information if you'd like to donate.
Yeah. Fantastic. So other than all those exciting announcements, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm excited for our guest, about the conversation. Looking forward to it.
All right, Retro followers, we are so excited to have a very special guest today sitting down with us. Our one and only sponsor, Petri's Place. We've got the founder, Tina, here with us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
So we're really...
No idea what's going on in any of the enclosures yet, so at this point I feel pretty positive about the day, but it could... I'll find out what terror went on last night in a little while.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah. I'm sure that most of the terror probably was from those prairie dogs.
Or the raccoons that we've been putting back in their cages every night at the walkthrough.
Oh, wow. The most recent ones that have been put out there or the older ones?
No, the more recent ones next to some of the other ones. I think they're giving each other tips on how to remove carabiners.
Oh, how fun. They're just little jailbreakers out there. Too funny. All right. So let's talk about how on earth a wildlife, like what started a wildlife refuge?
Well, the truth is we had a little too much to drink at a Valentine's party and decided, it'd be cool to get a possum. We didn't look up laws or anything smart at the moment. It was a 50-50 split in the room. Very, very defined group, yes, and a very, very defined group of no, and we won. It didn't happen immediately, but I guess we put it out in the universe because within a couple of weeks, literally, an opossum was found. My Aunt Marcy found one pulling into work one morning. She works at a nuclear pharmacy, so when she's pulling in, it's, crack of dawn, if it's even that late in the morning yet. And she found a baby possum. waited a little while because I was doing IT on call. So she gave me till 6 in the morning before she texted me and said, "Hey, I found a baby possum. You want to babysit it?" And I, of course, was, "Can I have it?" Again, not looking up laws or anything. And that wasn't our namesake, but the very next morning, she found another one, and that is where Petri comes along. Basically, by the time Aunt Marcy got to the house, which is about 9 o'clock that morning with the first one, I had already been on petco.com and had curbside delivery set up so my mom could drop off my nephew at school, go to the store, bring us a cage, and we were mixing up salt, sugar, water, trying to hydrate it in the middle of the kitchen while she walked in with this baby in a lab coat. And the rest went pretty downhill from there.
Wow. Okay. And so you mentioned Petri's Place is the name, and I've often wondered and never actually asked, even though Sarah and I volunteer here. You'd think I would have, like, at one point been like, why is this place called Petri's Place?
I don't even know if they use Petri dishes there, to be honest, but it was a lab, and it was a little girl, and it sounded cute. Because the first one I called Poppy, and he passed, but Petri just sounded like it went with the lab. I had no idea what we were doing and what you name a possum except with the letter P, and we just went with it. And it stuck, and she became the matriarch, and so it was kind of a given to just name it after her.
Yeah. So that's cool. Now we know the story. Yeah. Now you just need your opossum to be like holding a Petri dish at the bottom of it.
We need a mad scientist looking logo or something. I think we went too cute. There's almost nothing cute happening here.
I don't believe that.
Yeah. They can be cute. But
they are so cute. Come on now. All right. Well, that's awesome. I love that. I love the backstory and the name. And that makes sense now why it's called Petri's Place, which is, for those of you listening that want to follow on socials, it's PETRI''S place. Petri'sPlace.com. And you're on Instagram, Facebook. I think you have a YouTube channel.
And TikTok. We're almost everywhere we can be, so that we can get the word out of where we are and who we are.
Yeah, that's fantastic. All right.
TikTok. I didn't even know y'all had a TikTok.
It's not that glamorous, but it's out there. It's out there. Yeah.
Like, what? TikTok. Let me go follow. So what is your favorite and least favorite animal to rescue?
My absolute favorite is going to obviously be the opossum. I liked them. I've liked them my whole life. I didn't really understand them. Now I know I knew nothing about them. Everything I knew was a myth or what was told to us when we were little. But they're my favorite. I think they're adorable, and they're just ugly enough to be super cute, but also there are so many different ones that I didn't even know about. And this is the opossum, not to be confused with possum, but the opossum the opossums we see here, we see three general types, and that's the Virginia opossum, the gray, the Mexican opossum, the guache, the black, more witch-like looking one, smaller frame, and then you have the South American, the Venezuelan opossum. They're chocolate brown. So, I mean, those three are all one species, but the opossum from Venezuela is my absolute favorite. In case you're listening out there, Venezuela, just send a couple more. But yeah, the opossum.
What makes that one your favorite?
Oh my God, they're beautiful and silky smooth, and just they're actually a lot more docile. We're not trying to make them pets, but if you're trying to nurse one back to health, taking your chances with one of those is a little safer. They're just beautiful, though. They don't look anything, except for the shape of the animal, they don't look anything like the opossums we see here. Second in line would be the ones from Central America, Mexico, the black ones, because they are so scary looking. They are so cute. And then the gray ones, we love you too. My least favorite animal is the raccoon. If you've never met a raccoon, okay, challenge, come on, let's go, because what you see on the internet is not true. They are mean little demons, but they're dressed in cute little bodies, but not my favorite. I will do it, and we save lots of them every year, and we're bottle feeding some now, but pass.
I was trying to I was trying to trap a feral cat once in the city, in the city limits, not here in San Antonio, and so I could get it fixed. And so I put the plastic container with the wet cat food into the trap. And the next morning I come out and I've rescued this adorable, stinky raccoon who shredded the plastic bowl. Like, I mean, shredded into pieces. Like, you couldn't even tell it was a food bowl anymore.
He's probably trying to make a shiv because that's how they are.
To escape. Yeah. So then, of course, I had to put that in my car and drive out to the country to release it. Because of course I did not want him in my yard anymore. But yeah, and that was a lovely smell.
That's why we have one named Morgan Decay in there, because she smells like absolute death, and there's no one has died near her. She's just a normal raccoon.
They're cute. I think they're cute.
They are cute, but you know, some serial killers had lots of pen pals. Remember?
Some of them still do.
Yeah. So they can be cute.
And then, can you give us some fun facts about raccoons or opossums?
So opossums probably have the most fun facts. So I'll give you some boring ones about raccoons real quick.
Some boring ones.
Just so the people that love raccoons feel included. Raccoons are not actually nocturnal. They're crepuscular. So the reason they have those black marks around their eyes is because they're not naturally able to see well at night. They need that black around the eyes to sort of absorb the light so they can see better. And this confuses people because, of course, everything we've been told our whole lives is that they're nocturnal. They should only be out at night. If they're out in the day, they've got rabies. So that's not true. They are going to be out during the day because in some cases, especially in neighborhoods and residential areas, that's the safest time to hunt because, you know, predators are out at night, cars that they can't see coming are out at night. Their babies are safer to leave during the day when they're in your attic. To go out and hunt, you feed your dogs and cats and birds during the day, so they're going to come get that food. And also, mama raccoons, they need a break. And if you see a raccoon sitting under a tree in the sun, just sort of hanging out, they might look a little lethargic and tired. She's just sick of her kids. There's nothing wrong with her. But
I can relate.
Yeah, they can be out during the day. They actually do well during the day. So that's a fun fact. People just live by the old wives' tales that, oh my God, they can't be out, you know, during the day. They're not sick. There's nothing wrong with them. And the rabies chances are super rare. They're fine. Just leave them be. Opossums, however, have all kind of weird stories and facts. First of all, they don't have rabies. Their body temperature is way too low to carry rabies. That's what our grandmamas told us, so we'd quit bringing them in the house, okay? They're fine. You're fine. If they touch your animal, he's fine too. Everybody's fine. But they are weird. There's no doubt about it. They first of all, they have 50 teeth, which is more than any mammal on the planet. They are built to bite. They don't want to, though. If they get scared enough, they pass out, and it's not a choice. Possums, the playing possum is a seizure. It's like a fainting goat. Wow. So they don't get to pull that card just to get out of court, right? They get scared, they pass out, and it can last from 20 minutes to 4 hours, and it literally appears like death. So they'll drool, their muscles will tense up. They feel like they're in rigor. That is on purpose. They excrete from this lovely gland the smell of decay. And their heart rate drops, and they literally look dead because their predators do not eat dead things. So if they can pull that real quick and appear dead within a second or two, their predator, they might get picked up, nipped, or tossed around, but their predator's going to walk away. They don't eat dead things.
Wow.
So the playing possum is non-voluntary. Okay, They don't want to do it. So that's one. It gets really weird in the reproductive side, since the male opossum, first of all, they're just built weird. They have a forked penis, which is all kinds of fun because in the early days, people thought that they reproduced through the nose because it's the only part of the body that had two holes. So that, I don't know how anyone
believe that
went with that, but they ran with that for a long, long time. Yeah. Female opossums have two wombs, so they can carry 2 litters, but it's not going to necessarily double or increase the number of joeys because they only have 13 nipples. So even with a regular birth, they can have 23, 25 babies, but there's only 23 nipples. 13 nipples. They are a marsupial, so they are born at about 13 days gestation, and then they need to crawl their way just a head and arms into the pouch, latch on, where they'll stay for several weeks before they are seen on mama's back. So they're born about the size of a jelly bean, and the nipples are 12 in a circle, 1 in the middle. I don't know what that super nipple's for, but that's how they work. From there, once they reach about 6-7 weeks and they go into mama's back, mama does not come back if you drop off. So, this is one of those animals where if you see a baby opossum, you need to get it help, because unlike all the other mammals, she told you, hang on, I'm not coming back for you, and she meant it. Raccoons, squirrels, everybody else is going back for their young. Mama possum is like, I told you, I have plenty of you each year. Good luck.
Yeah, buckle in. I'm not turning around.
That's why they're called seedlings. Wow. They just drop them around, just here and there.
Interesting.
Wow. I didn't realize that. That makes a little more sense. Why, when one's abandoned, people are like, oh, what do I do with this?
Mama warned you.
Yeah.
She does not turn that car back around.
Nope.
Okay, no.
On a mission.
Yep.
And then what would you say is the hardest part about being a rescue?
So there's a couple of things that personally are hard, and that is you have to overcome getting attached to animals. And if you there are a lot of people that are, I love animals, I love it. It depends on your level of love animals. Do you love the animals for your sake, or do you love the species and what they do for the world? Because if it's for your sake, this will tear you apart. This is not for you. And that was a hard thing to learn in the beginning, because I wanted to keep everything that you saved, right? That's not how this works. So it's still hard today, 6 years in, that you cannot become attached. And you will. If you're spending every 4 hours getting up and feeding and nursing something back to health, sewing it back together, you're spending weeks, months, sometimes a year on an animal. And then you really do have to make a decision one day. Do I release it, or what's the next steps for this animal? It's not to keep. And that's really hard personally. As a rehab, the hardest part is operations, and that is getting volunteers to consistently come. And we can raise money. We'll figure out money. We'll figure out the donations. We can do that. But the hardest part is volunteers have to be shown what to do. And when you spend the time to show them what to do and they never come back again, you've kind of lost that day. We're all faster on our own here. And so we could just do the job and get it done faster and get back to, some of us have to eat and do laundry ourselves too. But it's that turnover where volunteers, and we love that people want to see an opossum in real life and help out, but the one day, one time is really hard on any nonprofit, probably anything with volunteers, is because you've spent a lot of your day training and you never see that person again.
Yeah,
right.
That return on investment.
Right,
yeah.
And that is tough, because we have days where, what if any of us get sick? There's only 2 of us that are here full time, myself and my mom. And what if one of us gets sick? What if one of us has an appointment, or it's flooding outside, or when it's really cold? We still have to show up 7 days a week, every single day of the year, holidays included. We push unwrapping gifts in Christmas morning so animals get fed first, right? All of that is a fact, and there isn't ever going to be enough help. And there are days where we have too many volunteers, but there are way more days where we don't have anybody. And the hardest part in this world is getting and retaining volunteers that actually want to help and not just come and see animals.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have to be at least 16 years old to come volunteer.
You have to be at least 16 years old to volunteer on property, but you have to be at least 18 to be anywhere near the animals. So although 16 to 18, you can work in the garden or help with laundry or clean up or wash dishes, that's easy stuff.
Right.
In reality, being able to go into an area where there are cages, that's where we'd say where the money is. That's where the job is. So, everybody here can pitch in with we call it husbandry, with the animal husbandry, but we need you to be able to go into a room with a cage, and at 16, 17, you can't do that.
Right.
So we really, really rely on, 18 and older. But we do want those younger folks that need it for National Honor Society or school or something like that to get, at least the experience of what it would look like come the time they're 18. especially if they have a desire to go into anything with animals.
Yeah, absolutely. And so to sign up to volunteer, they just go to petrisplace.com and there's a tab that says volunteer, correct?
Right. Yeah, there's several ways to get there, but that's everything that we do you can find from our website.
Awesome.
Yep. And then I know Sarah talked about the hardest part about being a wildlife rescue, but what's your favorite part about being a wildlife rescue?
For whatever reason, I was actually thinking of this yesterday because of a text Sarah replied to me with, and that was, we had an animal. We always have an animal escape. Okay, that's the thing. But it's the bloopers. You said, when I sent you that video of Diggy, you said use it for Petri's bloopers. There are some things that happen around here that are so goofy and just so ridiculous. We can't get people to believe it. And a lot of times we're not recording at that moment. And that's the most fun. I mean, no, we don't want to chase raccoons all around this property all the time. But the things that they do to get out and then beg to get back in. And the prairie dogs are a disaster all day, every day. And it's the bloopers. It's the mistakes we make that don't cost anybody any harm or anything like that. But, a prairie dog getting out and then you finally catch him and he chews through the net on the way back and falls out and runs again. You've got people tripping and jumping and diving and he's terrorizing the place. That's funny. And it's a break from what we've been doing, all the chores and the cleaning and the heat and the rain. And then you literally are chasing around a 1-pound animal with a giant fishing net. And you just feel like, what am I doing with my life?
And he's probably laughing at you the whole time.
Oh, he's winning. He's winning. Yes.
He's like Charlie Sheen, #winning.
Yes. Or we trapped the wrong animal. Or we think it's one of ours and we're locking up some strange raccoon that's never met us. It's the bloopers. I don't know another way to say it, but that's the most fun.
You should just start wearing a GoPro.
I actually
so
do have a
everything.
body cam. Yeah, it's that makes it fun. You never know what nonsense is about to happen. We were setting up for an event yesterday. We hear a big crash. One of the raccoon cages decided they didn't want that house in that space, and they just tossed it across their enclosure.
Oh, wow!
And you just got to roll with it. But that makes it fun because you have no idea what to expect.
That's wild.
Speaking of prairie dogs, I think volunteering here. At first, I thought there must be a famous rapper that's involved with this organization because I kept hearing the name Diggy Smalls. Can you tell us a little about the famous Diggy Smalls?
Well,
how did you find Diggy?
I don't think any of us have a music career, so we're good there. And we did not name Diggy Smalls. He came with that name, but we are probably. We're not his first stop, okay? He's lived at other places, several other places. He is a violent little twerp. He is a prairie dog. He was purchased as a pet with a sister, and that didn't work out. I guess they were equally naughty is, I guess, the safest thing. And he's just bounced around from there because he is very aggressive and he has a bite history. The dude has a rap sheet. He just does. And so...
No pun intended.
No. The next guy that came, or the next one that came, we just named it Snoop Dogg because it was living next door to Diggy. Then we got Busta, and that poor prairie dog was old and pretty busted up. So it went well, I guess, trying to keep in the rap names, but... they come named, and so Chunk Norris and Beanie Meanie and Weenie, they came named that. Aww. So that kind of throws out the musical side. Yeah, he's just a thug, straight thug. Belongs in prison.
Yeah, but you have shirts with Diggy Smalls on them, right?
We do, and we're about to produce some more because it's been requested.
Yes.
I guess the prairie dog and prison thing is taking off, and so we will exploit that as much as we can because we've got to feed said Diggy, and there are 5 prairie dogs in there right now, and their enclosure costs us a small fortune, and it's necessary because their whole day is spent plotting how to terrorize the neighborhood. Yes, and he did get out. He walked out. I mean, it's not like he broke out. He just walked out the front because the cage wasn't latched properly.
Oh, wow.
But luckily for us, the prairie dogs are homicidal, and so they just hunt you back down, and so it's just a matter of when he finds you and you can put him back.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't go near Winnie's cage.
No, Winnie will make sure that we can find him. It just won't be in one piece.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then tell me about, we have a drink now that we serve our drinks here. Thank you. We help with doing some fundraising and hosting events here with Tina, and along with that, we're serving our retro sips and brews drinks, which is really cool. I'm still on a high from Saturday's event.
Yeah, that was fun.
epic.
Yeah, and that's my first time having an Alf, by the way, and it was delicious.
Yes.
And yeah,
I love it. Yeah, that's our pineapple orange lemonade. It's actually our number one seller.
I can see why.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah. But where was I going with that?
Pink Penelope.
Oh, the Pink Penelope. Thank you. Sorry. I obviously haven't had enough coffee yet today. So the Pink Penelope is named after one of the possums here. And the Pink Penelope is our sugar-free drink. If you used to come to the shop, it used to be called Pink Pony Girl. And now it's the Pink Penelope because, we got to have something that's represents where we're at. So
Penelope is a sweet girl. She's an opossum. I wouldn't say she's so sugar-free, so it matches. She is sweet, but she's still an opossum, so she can be a little snippy. So I like that it is sugar-free, actually, thinking about it. But I made her enclosure really girly so that, that she was represented well. She's a cute little girl, but all opossums look the same, and I needed her to stand out. So her cat tower's pink, her wheel's pink, and although there are other possums that use the same enclosure, the Pink Possum Palace is the name of her enclosure, and Penelope is a cute little girl name. So can she still be dark and gloomy? Heck yeah. But pink goes well with black too. But yeah, that's for Penelope.
That's awesome. I love it. So, Sarah and I just got back from a road trip, and of course, we saw some roadkill along the way, and we both were like, "Aw," because we've been volunteering here for so long now that we're just like, we think the animals are amazing and they serve a purpose, which we already know. Like, we have a random possum that goes across our fence at night, and our dogs go crazy. But we know that possum is important because it eats fleas and ticks and snakes, which are not my favorite animal. And so when people come to you or they're like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you rescuing these animals that either have a short lifespan or might get hit by a car or whatever? What is the importance of rescuing these animals and rehabbing them and putting them back in the wildlife?
So you have to think of it kind of further back. The animals wouldn't even exist if they didn't serve a purpose in the ecosystem somewhere. I mean, that's not how this planet is put together. Everything is supposed to have a purpose. And opossums actually carry a pretty heavy weight for the little animal that they are. They do eat the ticks that are on their body, which helps, the spread of Lyme disease, because they are all over South Texas. They are all over the farms and ranches and dry lands, wetlands. They're everywhere. And they also eat pretty much every critter in your backyard that you don't want around. The bugs, the slugs, the beetles, they're impervious to snake venom. That's a big one. And although they can and do eat snakes, which is fine with me, it's the antibodies that they carry naturally that are used scientifically for medical antivenom. And, if you've got hunting dogs, you've got, fields of animals that, could easily get bit by a snake, you're able to help that animal recover because of an opossum's antibodies. Same with humans. We need those antibodies for the snake venom. We call them trash animals, trash cats. And that isn't because they eat out of your trash. They're actually pretty picky animals. They clean up the environment. And so they're one of the few animals that eat carrion, which is dead animals. So they're omnivores. They're going to eat vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, plants, and small live creatures, but they also eat dead things. And that helps to prevent the spread of diseases, especially in parks and backyards and things like that. And so they don't live very long. An opossum female might live, 2.5, 3 years, a male, 1.5, 2 years. And of course, animals can live longer than that, and some will live shorter than that because they easily get, things like metabolic bone disease, heart diseases, things like that, but they don't have a very long lifespan, but they're carrying a big job. So it's important, especially for us, to try and rehab as many opossums as possible. They don't have a good reputation, all, fake news, but they need somebody to support them because of what people assume they are based on their looks.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. I love that that there's not just possums or opossums and raccoons here, but you also have skunks and armadillos and bunny rabbits and foxes, and my personal favorite, Luther, the female iguana.
Yeah. Things get named how they get named, okay?
Well, you didn't know.
I didn't know. I know nothing about reptiles.
Yeah.
Luther was found walking around on Marbach.
Yeah.
So we just had to jump in where we could.
Yeah, I'm personally glad that you don't rescue snakes, because I would not be here.
Well, it's kind of hard to rescue something that is the main course for some of these animals.
Yeah. So, because I would not be a volunteer if there were snakes around
I don't
here.
do bugs either. I let the animals handle those.
Yeah. So, back to part of the hardest part, which you mentioned a little bit, of course, the volunteers. We definitely, you need more volunteers. It's 2-hour shifts. There's like 3 or 4 different times a day that people can come, 7 days a week.
7 days a
It's
week.
not like you have to come Monday through Friday. You can come on Saturday and Sunday too. And then the financial side of things. So we talked a little bit about events and fundraising, and we're going to touch on that too. But what are some ways that people can help support Petri's Place other than volunteering?
So there are ways that are monetary and non. So non-monetary ways everyone can do, and that is to share any of our social media. That helps not only get the word out, but we are monetized. That is a known fact, and that helps us a little bit. It may not cover much, but it covers something, right? And that is an easy, free thing to do. It just takes your time.
Yeah.
The more
I think
you engage
that's how
with
we
us,
stumbled upon you, because Sarah saw somebody shared your page on Facebook, and that's how we found you.
That's how a lot of some of our donors, our volunteers, people just with animals that need to be rehabilitated. They find us because of social media and Google searches and stuff like that. So just sharing and engaging with our content, that helps. And that's again, it just costs your time. And then financially, even if you get on our website and do $1 a month, if you look at our following, if just 10% of our following did $1 a month out of their account, we could pay our bills, and we would have less of a struggle meeting, expenses that come up randomly. This month, our utility bill is $850, and obviously not every month is it going to be like that, but we would easily have that covered multiple times with just $1 a month. And, it's not something that sounds like a lot, but a lot of people doing $1 is extremely, extremely beneficial to us. And obviously you can do more than that, a cup of coffee amount, just here and there, you wouldn't notice. But it makes a huge impact to us. It is not always the $100 donations, which we also greatly appreciate, because it's expensive to run these places, and no one here gets paid. Not me, not anybody on this property gets paid. It is all for the animals, every dime. And so any amount that's given is incredibly helpful and appreciated. We do have a wish list. We keep that updated as much as possible, also found on the website. But, we are really able to run with little bits. And that's the thing. Every little bit helps. It takes a village. All those sayings are really, really true. We just need to find our village. And I think doing stuff like this and the fundraising events that we do to get people to come out here and see what we're doing, and y'all's podcast and having your events here, it's just going to help get the word out. Because those little bitty, little nudges, little teeny things that people do, it helps us tremendously.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of those events, we have a couple coming up. We have a hat burning workshop with Crown and Crook, and you're even going to have opossum and raccoon and skunk and fox decals for people to use, like designs to burn on their hats, which is adorable. And then we also have, which there's only, I think, 3 tickets left for that event, 3 or 4.
At this point, when I sat down, it was 3.
Wow. So we're down to 3 tickets left for that event. That's August
awesome.
8th. So you can still sign up. You may not be guaranteed the hat color that you pick because we're so close to the event, but you can definitely still sign up and come and hang out. That's August 8th. Immediately following that is Nocturnal Nights. Tell us about Nocturnal Nights.
Nocturnal Nights started a few years ago as our primary way to raise money, because we didn't have a lot of merch or anything else going on at the time, but we had a a spot. We have a picnic area, and we invite, there is a ticket. You buy a ticket. We do a lot of raffles that night and auctions, and we sell things now. It's all just to raise money, but to come out, hang out at the sanctuary, see what's going on. In some parts of the summer, we have the fireflies that obviously is of no control to us, but it's fun. You get to see fireflies, especially if you're nostalgic. You get to hear the animals and see what's going on in the background. But this is going to be Nocturnal Nights. The theme is sunset to summer, because we are going into our kind of ramping down season. And basically it is a chance to celebrate that we survived baby season. It has been a long baby season because it started early. We had a lot of rain, and it's just been rough. And so it's a way for us to raise money, but also give back. Like, hey, thank you for getting us through this point. We couldn't do this without you. Everybody gets to meet, who they haven't met before. Volunteers come, the public comes. It's a really good time. It's really nice outside. Even though it's hot during the day, it cools off really well. It's under the trees, and you can hear the chaos caused by raccoons. And you might even hear Diggy screaming every once in a while before he turns into bed.
Yeah, so that's a fun event, and there's still tickets available for that. Now, of course, if you are coming to the hat burning workshop, you get to stay for that event for free.
You do.
And it is, you can bring food to eat, your beverage to partake. We'll be here as well selling our drinks.
Yeah, so don't bring your own beverage. Just come and get one of theirs.
Come buy one of ours, yeah. And
Come
then there's
shop.
tons of merch.
Yeah.
Also, Sarah and I mentioned earlier in the podcast that we are still doing our Chones drive for Circulo de Chispas. So if you bring a Chones donation, underwear, socks, undershirt, or bras for elementary age students, you'll get a drink discount. And then I think you also had said you were going to...
We're going to give you extra raffle tickets to put in for your choice of the raffles for helping out with that cause as well.
Awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic. And then you also sell other items. Like I, this morning, have been thoroughly enjoying the Trash Cat coffee.
Mm-hmm. So when you get into rehab, you're very delusional, and hopefully you have a corporate job, because you don't realize how much money's going out the door for the first couple of years. That's the fog, that's the honeymoon period. And then once you start actually looking at your statements, you realize that you have got to make some choices. And so Trash Cat Coffee is one of the businesses that we stood up where 100% of profits go to Petri's Place, and it is a specialty grade coffee, so it is a top tier, and it is roasted the same day it is shipped to you. So when you order it, we're not just sitting here putting it in a box. It has to be roasted and then shipped to you, and so it's extremely fresh. You're not going to find fresher, and 100% of what we're making on that is going towards this cause. So Trash Cat Coffee is one. We have Antenna Stories Boutique, which is a clothing boutique. Some of us do occasionally get to wear clothes that don't have some sort of animal print or something else on it. And so we like to shop within that boutique to, raise money for ourselves. That has a great affiliate program, hint, hint, because, that'll help us raise money we don't pay for ads for any of our companies because we can't afford that. So we do things where it has a really good, it's either consumable or profitable enough for us to also share with other organizations. And then we have Fund the Wild, which has, the more fun toys and plushies and mystery journal boxes, stationery type stuff. So we will probably add a business here and there. Again, all of that's going to Petri's Place. That's how we stay afloat.
I love it. And I have been enjoying the mushroom. What is it? It's got mushroom and something lion's mane or something in it.
The lion's mane mushroom.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's very good.
Cold brew.
And
right?
I've also made
Yes,
cold
we've
brew
been
out of
enjoying
it.
the
Yes,
cold brew.
yes,
So
it
good.
is. Yeah, it's very good. And there's multiple flavors. You've got all kinds of. Yeah.
We try to stay pretty relevant to what's going on. One of the new ones is the Dubai chocolate. We do have a line of teas as well for those of us that are more of a tea girl. But yeah, we've got a large variety in the coffee, and it's a very niche area. But when you think about these animals are, quote, nocturnal. Having a strong cup of coffee goes right in line with that. And so it was and trash cat coffee just sounds cool.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Please don't feed the opossums coffee.
They don't need any help.
They don't need any help.
Definitely don't feed any to the prairie dogs.
Yeah.
Well, and then some of the other things we've talked about doing is like the Feral Book Club. We've got some Secondhand Homie is coming in September to do a Thriftoween. So we've got some really cool events coming. And again, and our Needles and Nonsense. Yes, thank you for the charades.
I'm making little hand gestures. It's like, hey, that night you used all the weapons. Diggy's going to love that night.
So Tuesday night, starting August 4th, we'll have Needles and Nonsense, which is basically a crafting night. But it's kind of focused towards crocheting, cross stitch, knitting, embroidery. Which you have some really cool kits.
Which we're taking advantage of that in case you are a really strong animal lover and you don't have a project going. Even if you do, you're going to start another project.
Exactly.
So we have embroidery kits, crochet kits, diamond painting kits so that you can show up empty-handed, buy your own drink here, get a little kit, and just get going.
Yes. So those are free nights other than buying your drinks or any of the merch, but it's from 6 to 8 every Tuesday starting August 4th. And we're really excited to start hosting that again. So there's some cool stuff coming. Make sure you follow Petri's Place on all the socials. If you are like, I have no idea, go to petrisplace.com, Petris place.com. Very easy to find. If you're like, what did she say? Just Google Petri's Place. Sometimes that's what I have to do because I can't remember if it's .com or .org.
Technically, it's both. We did a little techie in the beginning. So use some of my experience.
Yeah. Well, then sometimes my brain is like, okay, which website am I going to? But we just thoroughly appreciate your support of us as well, and the podcast, and giving us a space to serve our drinks again. I know when Sarah and I first made the announcement that we had some big news coming and it was to announce the podcast, we had multiple people that were like, are y'all opening up again? And we were like, no, we're not.
And then you come to the Delulu land here, and things change quickly.
Yes, things change quickly.
But it's not every day, which when we had our brick and mortar, it was every day, and we had no life. And I know you can relate.
Yeah, that's selfishly why we want to do events. It's because none of us can leave. So,
and so during events, we will have our drinks here. So yes, those of you that have been wondering, if you hadn't heard already. And we are brought to you by Spotify. Please follow Retro Sips and Brews podcast on Spotify. Share it with all your friends and family. Help us get our listening algorithm, whatever, up. And until next week, that is what's brewing this week.